Elena grew up in a household that seemed normal from the outside, but was filled with tension, neglect, and unspoken trauma. Her parents loved her in their own way, but they were consumed by their struggles. Financial pressures, unfulfilled dreams, and emotional baggage they could not escape. As a result, Elena often felt unseen, unheard, and alone. As she entered her teenage years, Elena sought ways to cope with the emptiness she felt inside. At first, it was small things. Skipping school to spend time with friends, sneaking a cigarette here or there, drinking at parties to feel included. But gradually, her attempts to numb the pain grew into patterns she could not control. Alcohol became her constant companion, offering temporary relief from the anxiety and sadness that had rooted itself deeply in her heart. School became a struggle. Assignments were neglected, teachers complained, and friends began to drift away. Elena felt invisible and misunderstood, convinced that no one could truly see the turmoil she carried. At home, arguments erupted frequently, often triggered by small frustrations that escalated into shouting matches. During these fights, Elena would retreat into her room, seeking solace in music, alcohol, and isolation. By the time she turned 18, Elena's drinking had escalated to the point where it interfered with her life in every way. Jobs were lost, friendships strained, and her sense of self-worth plummeted. She looked in the mirror one morning and hardly recognized the person staring back. Hollow eyes, unsteady hands, and a heart burdened with shame. For the first time, she felt a flicker of fear. If things continued, she might lose herself completely. The turning point came when she hit rock bottom. One night, after drinking heavily, Elena nearly suffered a serious accident. The fear and humiliation of that night stayed with her long after, settling in her chest like a heavy stone. She realized that continuing down this path would not only destroy her life, but also endanger the lives of those she loved. For the first time, she admitted she needed help. Seeking support was daunting. Elena reached out to a local rehabilitation center, terrified of judgment, terrified of failure, but also determined to change. The staff welcomed her cautiously, understanding the fear and skepticism that often accompanies addiction. The first days of detox were agonizing. Her body ached, headaches pulsed, and cravings consumed her every thought. Emotional withdrawal was even harsher. Sadness, anger, and regret flooded her mind, leaving her exhausted and tearful. Therapy became her lifeline. In sessions with her counselor, Elena explored the root causes of her addiction: childhood neglect, unprocessed trauma, and low self-esteem. She learned that addiction was not a moral failure but a coping mechanism gone awry. Understanding this reframed her self-perception. She was not broken, merely in need of guidance and tools to reclaim her life. Support from peers in the rehabilitation center was invaluable. Sharing her story with others who had faced similar struggles gave her a sense of belonging and validation she had never experienced. Listening to their journeys of relapse and recovery taught her patience and resilience. She realized that recovery was not linear. Setbacks would happen, but each day offered a new opportunity to rebuild. Elena developed routines that grounded her. Journaling her thoughts each morning, practicing mindfulness exercises, attending group meetings, and engaging in physical activity to release tension. Each small action reinforced her sense of agency and helped her regain control over her life. Family dynamics shifted slowly. Her parents, initially skeptical of her ability to recover, learned to provide constructive support. They attended counseling sessions with her, discovering how to communicate without judgment and how to rebuild trust. Gradually, their relationships improved, and Elena felt the warmth of family connection she had longed for throughout her life. After leaving the rehabilitation center, Elena faced the challenge of re-entering the world sober. Old friends and environments posed temptations, yet she maintained boundaries, consciously avoiding situations that triggered cravings. She found new social circles that supported her recovery and engaged in activities that nurtured her growth, including art, volunteering, and outdoor exercise. Employment was another milestone. Elena secured a job at a non-profit organization focused on community help. The work was demanding yet deeply rewarding. She poured her energy into helping others, finding purpose in contributing to causes greater than herself. The sense of accomplishment and responsibility reinforced her sobriety and strengthened her confidence. Throughout her journey, relapse remained a constant fear. There were moments of intense craving, evenings when loneliness or stress tempted her toward old habits. But by then, she had developed coping strategies: calling a support friend, attending a meeting, practicing breathing exercises, or writing down her emotions. Each challenge she overcame reinforced the belief that she could navigate life without substances. Elena's story expanded beyond personal recovery. She became a mentor for individuals struggling with addiction, sharing her story openly to inspire and guide others. She spoke at community events, schools, and support groups, emphasizing that recovery is possible, no matter how far one has fallen. Her honesty, empathy, and vulnerability resonated deeply, encouraging countless others to seek help. As years passed, Elena's life flourished. She built strong relationships based on trust and mutual support, pursued passions that nourished her soul, and maintained a lifestyle that prioritized physical and emotional well-being. Her journey taught her resilience, empathy, and the power of perseverance in the face of adversity. Elena often reflected on the path that had brought her here. The pain, the mistakes, and the darkest nights. She did not dwell on shame, but recognized the lessons embedded in every struggle. Each hardship had shaped her strength, compassion, and purpose. She had transformed her suffering into wisdom and her struggle into a platform for helping others. Her story demonstrates the extraordinary capacity for human resilience. Addiction, while destructive, does not define the entirety of a person's life. With courage, support, and relentless determination, recovery is possible, and a life of purpose, fulfillment, and contribution can be reclaimed. Today, Elena continues to mentor, speak, and advocate. Her message is clear. Seeking help is an act of strength. Setbacks do not erase progress, and each day presents an opportunity to choose growth over despair. She reminds those struggling that the darkest moments can be transformed into sources of strength, and that resilience is cultivated through conscious effort, compassion, and perseverance. Elena's journey stands as a beacon of hope. It proves that even after years of hardship and self-doubt, it is possible to rise, reclaim agency, and create a meaningful, impactful life. Her story encourages everyone facing addiction, trauma, or personal crisis to believe in their capacity to overcome, demonstrating that recovery is not only a possibility, but a path to profound transformation and empowerment.